Steve-O joining us right now as guest commentator. We're about ready to go with this one-fall 15-minute time limit match at a total of 440 pounds. From parts unknown, the Masked Marauder, and from Kenya, Africa, Kenya Condore, going against him at a total of 437 pounds. From Nashville, Tennessee, and Pensacola, Florida, the Rock and Roll Express, Rick Morton and Robert Gibson. One fall 15, referee Jerry Calhoun. Steve, a tag team that has not been around the area as a tag team known as the Rock and Roll Express for very long, but boy, they really have caught the imagination of the fans.
Well, I've known Rick Morton for a long time. I know Robert Gibson for a long time. Robert and Rick were a successful, Robert's brother were a successful tag team. I think Rick Morton is along the same lines as Robert's brother, and I think they have a good style in the ring. They're both fast, they're both quick, very agile, very athletic, I tell you, and they got some pretty outlandish wrestling garb, I guess you could say there. But I tell you, these guys are really pretty exciting. We were out in the disco just the other night, and these guys are out in the disco floor, and they're using all their you know, wrestling wear out there. I tell you, and they cause some excitement there too.
Yes, indeed. Of course, we've known them individually for years, both Rick and Robert, but really looking good as a tag team. The Rock and Roll Express. That's Kenya Condore, and they're against Rick Morton right now.
Oh, an excellent arm drag. Combination moves there by Rick Morton, taking the man off his feet. A good move by Kenya Condore to get behind this man. Watch out now, Ricky Morton. He's an excellent escape wrestler. He also has an excellent right cross.
Yeah, he blocked that right hand by Kenya Condore and came back with a right cross himself. We're 1 minute into the action.
I'll tell you, the secret now with tag team wrestling is to make sure that both men stay fresh and to, you know, take control in the ring. You have to take charge. When you're in control, you make the other person make that move, and when they make a move, you can counter it. You wait for them to make a mistake. Oh, an excellent move, jumping over his man, a quick tag. Condore doesn't know which one to wrestle.
Rick Morton
takes him around.
Yeah.
Oh, an excellent flying man. A little knee for good measure.
Got the 2 count, almost, but not quite. Rick Morton himself coming back from injury a few months ago.
Yes, I understand he had some problems with his knee, but I've seen Rick Morton wrestle in different parts of the country. I've seen him in Dallas, Texas, San Antonio. He's been all around the country. He's a very experienced wrestler. So is Robert Gibson. I saw him in Atlanta, Georgia, him and his brother. Look at Robert causing a little excitement, a little pandemonium. Take the man over at it, baby, Robert. I tell you, when you grab onto a man's head like that, when you got control of a man's head, the rest of the body has to follow. And when you're in control like that, you can dictate to your opponent what has to go on in the match. Look at that. Another excellent move to tag out, staying in control.
The point you were making is one reason the headlock is so popular, because that way you do have control of the total wrestling.
It's a very popular hold. A lot of wrestlers use that for control in wrestling. Setting him up for a suplex. Up and over.
Got him. Cover.
No, he didn't pin him.
No, he didn't. Picked him up.
This is going to be a good time now for them to work on their timing. For them to work on the timing that they can use later on in matches when the going gets a little bit tougher.
Round behind him, full Nelson.
I don't know if Robert plans on using this for a submission hold. Oh, an excellent move behind him. Wrestlers use different moves for submissions, trying to keep control and also trying to wear down your opponent. When you get your opponent wear down, then you can use holds such as a full Nelson, such as the sleeper, such as the figure 4 to use for submission.
Well, Condore, you gotta try it now.
That's a dangerous position over there in your opponent's corner.
Yeah. Place. Whoa.
Oh, he ducked underneath that one. The Marauder caught Kenya Condore with that one. Oh, double drop kick. Excellent move. Did you see the timing of that? That was perfect. 1, 2, 3.
Teamwork, name of the game.
That's
again.
The name of the game.
As the Rock and Roll Express, Rick Morton, Robert Gibson.
That's what you ought to do. Keep him from getting in the ring.
The Galaxians masked are at 6. The masked are at 6. Now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing out of the dynasty of wrestling champions, total 424 pounds, from the Twilight Zone, introducing the Galaxians. At ringside, their manager, Jim Cornette. Their opponents, ladies and gentlemen, introducing at a total weight of 437 pounds from Pensacola, Florida, and Nashville, Tennessee, Robert Gibson, wrestling the Rock and Roll Express. The Galaxians pass a state weight law, 1 hour. Referee, Jerry Calhoun.
Galactics, I don't know what in the world's wrong with them. Did I say it right or not?
Yeah, you get it right. No big deal. You got it. Galaxian.
It's strange how you get something.
Oh,
I
yeah.
practice it all the time. You know, just to run.
Woogie off and running, one fall, 60 minutes in time. We've got a pairing here, two very fast teams. We've seen them a couple of previous times in action. The Galaxians in the mask, wrestling out of the Twilight Zone, according to their manager, Jim Cornette. Alpha and Beta. Going against the Rock and Roll Express, and a press almost. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Boy, I'll tell you, we almost had it over with in the first minute of action. Rick Morton, Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express. Really fine-looking team. Physically tuned, fast, excellent young wrestlers. Not to take a thing away, except by association with the dynasty of professional wrestling of Jimmy Cornette's. The Galaxians also a really good-looking, quick team. That's Alpha coming in now. He's the stockier of the two. Beta started out. Robert Gibson. Ooh, couple of knees fired in. Gibson shuffles around behind, rolls him up, and referee Jerry Calhoun really getting a hard time from the Galaxians. They thought his count was a little quick. Well, he didn't hesitate, I'll say that. Rick Morton now takes over. Alpha. Cornette hollering about the count also. Standing side headlock, Rick Morton on Alpha. Misses the elbow. There's that cross press and a 2 count again. That's 3 quick 2 counts. The Rock and Roll Express almost had him. Yep, that's right, Rick. They're complaining about the count of referee Jerry Calhoun. They've had 3 2 counts. Morton caught coming in. Shoveled into the turnbuckle. Followed in by Alpha. Robert Gibson cushions him. And he comes right out of the corner, does Rick Morton, with a good right hand. Rick Morton over the top, double drop kick, and Beta, who had taken over from Alpha, was decked. Robert Gibson kicked off. Robert Gibson, Rick Morton, the Rock and Roll Express against Jimmy Cornette's Galaxians, Alpha and Beta. That's Alpha in there now. And Robert Gibson, referee Jerry Calhoun. One fall, 60-minute time limit match. And in this one, we've gone about 5 minutes. We're still 30 seconds shy of it. Gibson reverses it back. The Galaxians were trying to duplicate the earlier success of the Rock and Roll Express, and the Express a little too quick for them. On the floor. Referee tolling out the count. Alpha coming back in. Yep, I think he was the legal man. I'm not absolutely certain. There's a tag on Beta, and they make a switch. Rick Morton in. Remember the mask of the Galaxians at stake. Boy, and I'll tell you, they are battling like they're well aware of it, too. Rick Morton taking quite a shellacking in the corner. Rick. Bam, bam. Double trouble from the Rock and Roll Express. Robert Gibson takes over. Count of one. He not any farther than about 1.5 when Alpha hit the ring and broke it up. There's a whip into the turnbuckle. And this time going for the drop kick. Look at that. Nice move. Give him the credit when it is due him. Gibson mashed into the corner by Alpha after trading out with Beta. Gibson now has a shoulder buried right into his chest on a bear hug. Robert went up for a drop kick over by the corner, and the very quick Beta grabbed his legs, catapulted him straight into the turnbuckle. Rick Morton being run out. Ricky saying they tagged. I may have missed it like the referee did. We were watching the other action, and I did not see him get the tag, but I'm sure that he must have. Cover one. Robert comes out of it. Galaxians firing heavy barrage of stuff at Robert Gibson. There's a whip from Beta. Sunset flip. Beta down, and Robert Gibson gets a count of 2 before he finally kicked the way out, but Alpha had the referee distracted over there, and he did not get the benefit, Robert didn't, of all of the time that he had him down. Beautiful sunset flip. Looks like a suplex. Look at it slip by Robert Gibson. He puts it around into a side suplex and slams Alpha back down to the mat. Robert pulls up on the ropes, but the Galaxian is over. Eight and a half minutes into the action. It's a one-fall 60-minute time limit match. A couple of previous times we've seen these two teams against each other. They have really gone at it, and tonight follows the same pattern. A little more imperative on the Galaxians' part as their mask at stake. Look at Robert, makes a tag. Here comes Rick Gibson in. Big drop kick. Beauty. Two of them. Three. All four of them in the ring now. The referee trying to bring it down to the right number as Robert Gibson working on Beta. Rick slams into Alpha, falls down on top of him. But the referee trying to get Gibson out of the ring. Never got a pin, but look at this. They did a little switcheroonie. Ten minutes. Count of one, count of two, count of three, and that's going to be it. 10 minutes, 4 seconds, all important switch by the Galaxians. They'll keep their mask. They win the match. And they're splitting from the ring before any questions can be asked. Don't take any prisoners. Get out of there. So the winners in 10:04, the Galaxians over the Rock and Roll Express. We're ready to go with the action now in a most interesting match. It is not a tag match. It is a four-man match. All four men in the ring at the same time. The Galaxians and the Express, and here with the commentary with the mask at stake, Randy Hales. Randy.
Thank you, Lance. And action started quick with the Galaxians going against the Rock and Roll Express. And the Galaxians with the advantage now on Robert and Rick, but a quick change there, and the Galaxians go down. Look at Rick Morton. Robert gets in the Rock and Roll Express, ready to roll with the mask at stake. It's all four men in the ring at the same time. My first opportunity to see this kind of action. Robert gets it over the top and goes after the Galaxian. Rick Morton ready to go after Jim Cornette. The Galaxians outside the ring, not wanting too much to get in the ring with the exciting tag team out of Pensacola, Florida, and Nashville, Tennessee, talking about Robert Gibson and Rick Morton. Hard to keep up with the action with all four men in the ring. It is Beta squaring off with Robert Gibson, and Alpha with Rick Morton, and Robert Gibson going after Beta. Side headlock and a left hand, and Robert with the chokehold, and now on the other side, Rick Morton with the drop across the ears, and the Galaxian out. That's Beta taking a hike. Big double backdrop. It's been Rock and Roll Express looking mighty good, Lance.
Just might point out, Randy, this is one of the few times where double teaming is permitted because all four men are legally in the ring. There was a case where one of the Galaxians hit the floor, the other one was left by himself. The Rock and Roll Express did what comes naturally, and they went into a double team on him. It is legal.
This is where the advantage would have to go, I think, to the Rock and Roll Express, because the Galaxians are used to switching, and they can't do that in this match.
No, you're absolutely right on that, and the fact of the similarity of their size and their attire and all that means nothing as far as deception. Everybody is legal all the time.
Morton going after Alpha on the other side, and Robert gets it with the leg, puts Beta down over the top rope, goes Alpha, the Galaxians, and he falls right on the concrete floor right in front of us. A double elbow in the ring between the Galaxians. And here comes the Express. They're battling outside. Look out, the Rock and Roll Express right in front of the table. Ricky Morton after Beta. Watch out, right into the table goes Beta, right down on the floor. And back in the ring, Alpha put down. Robert Gisson on top, but the referee for some reason not going for the count. There he goes, 2 count. And Morton going after the other Galaxians, and a count, 1, 2, and a kick out there. Came very, very close. Right hand to the top of the head by Robert, and Rick puts him down. Boot to the top of the head. Right across the rope, and the Galaxian gets tied up in the ropes, falls down on the mat. Been interesting. It's a unique type of match with all 4 in. It's Robert Gibson going after Beta of the Galaxian. Robert Gibson, Rick Morton, but now the Galaxians, a tough team, we've got to say. They have looked very good together as part of the dynasty of wrestling champions. Right hand, and Alpha working on Robert Gisson. Beta working on Rick Morton of the Express. And the brawling continues. Down goes Robert Gisson, the referee, out of position. And Robert Gisson caught, and Alpha pounding away on Robert Gisson. Referee threatening a disqualification on Beta. Now Jim Cornette has Rick Morton from outside, and Robert Gisson has Alpha all tied up in the crowd, and the referee was out of position there. It's hard to combat the dynasty of wrestling, the style. Now the Galaxians choking on the top rope of Ricky Morton.
5 minutes past, 10 minutes to wrestle.
5 minutes past, 10 minutes to wrestle. 5 minutes gone as Rick Morton going after Alpha. But Alpha catches him over on the other side of the ring. It's a chokehold by Beta of the Galaxians. And a chokehold by Alpha. The referee threatening another disqualification. Ricky Morton choking, comes back on the fight fire with fire, catches him again, and Beta brawling at Rick Morton. It's time of the match where all 4 of them in. They don't have a second to rest. Gisson, right hand, but the Galaxian comes right back. Choking on the ropes on the other side is Beta inside the ring. Alpha choking, and Jim Cornette on the other side. Choking Robert Gisson, and it's a 3-on-2 situation here with the Dynasty of Wrestling Champions head man getting involved in the action. Jim Cornette watches as Rick Morton put down to the canvas. Alpha, a boot to the top of the head, and Alpha choking, and apparently Robert Gisson thrown over the top rope. I just turned barely in time, and it looked like Robert went over the top. Off the middle rope, Rick Morton put down, and an elbow, and a count of 1, a count of, that's all I could get, a 1 count. Remember, the masks are at stake in this match. All 4 men are supposed to be in the ring. Right now, it's Robert Gisson outside the ring on the floor. Morton with a shoulder butt, and Morton has him down. The referee outside with Gisson and Beta. And Morton was caught before they had the opportunity to get the count of 3. Beta has Robert Gibson down. Rick Morton on the other side having problems with Alpha. And Robert Gibson with a kick. Morton with the advantage. Morton hits Beta. The Galaxians now find themselves in trouble. What a double kick by Rick Morton that sends Alpha across, and Robert Gibson on top of him. 1, 2, and they came close, very close. Morton with a body slam. He's on top of him. Count of 1, count of 2, a 2 count. Count of 1, and a kick to the head of Robert Gibson. Rick hits Beta, and Robert Gibson caught by Alpha. It's been a seesaw battle all the way here with all 4 in the ring. That's the way it's scheduled to be, the stipulation. It is a basket stake match. Return between the Galaxians and the Rock and Roll Express. Robert catches, Beta catches Alpha. Robert over to the other corner, and Rick comes back. Robert Gibson puts Beta down. And Gibson working on Alpha. Gibson has him down. Could be it. The referee down. Count of 1, count of 2. And the shoulder's up. Morton has him down on the other side. 1, 2, and a 2 count. A 2 count. The Rock and Roll Express almost had the win. The Galaxians. Now Morton put down, both of them down. Both of the Galaxians are both Morton and the Galaxian down. And now the other Galaxian has Robert Gibson in a lot of trouble. And Gibson, Robert Gibson has him down. 1, 2. Pardon me, that's Rick Morton in the ring with Alpha. It's Robert Gibson in the corner. Beta choking Ricky Morton. Drop kick, Robert Gibson. What a move by Robert. Ricky still being caught. Oh my goodness, what blistering action going in to this match. And a double drop kick. Both of them down as both Alpha and Beta down, and a body slam by Rick Morton, and now one of the Galaxians down, a switch on the other side. 1, 2, but the foot's on the rope. The foot's on the rope. 2 minutes to wrestle. 2 minutes to wrestle in this match. Robert Gibson and Alpha battling. Rick Morton battling with Beta. Here comes Rick on the other side. Morton comes in. 4 men, all 4 of them in. Now a snapmare. Rick Morton goes down. Look at Robert Gibson. One of the best drop kicks I've ever seen off the middle rope. What a super, super move off that middle rope by Robert Gibson. 1 minute, 60 seconds to wrestle. Count of 2. The foot's on the rope. Came very close to getting it. Very close to getting it. And 1, 2, once again, the foot's on the rope, and Morton and Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express, battling with the Galaxians here, and Robert with the side headlock, Morton with Beta into the ropes, and a backdrop, and another backdrop, and the Rock and Roll Express coming down as we are 15 seconds away from the time limit. 15 seconds away. 15 seconds away from the And now, 5 seconds to wrestle in this match. Both of them down. They got the count 2, and the time limit has sounded. The time limit has sounded, and this match will be ruled a 15-minute draw. 15-minute draw going in. The Rock and Roll Express and the Galaxians go to a 15-minute draw. The time limit was 15 minutes, and it went to a 15. I have 13 minutes.
That was a 2 count. That was
Jerry.
a 2 count. I saw him.
Hey, apparently, Lance, we made a mistake here. We made a mistake here at the ring. We were keeping the time. We thought the 15-minute time limit.
What are you talking about? I saw the bell ring
I'm
at the 2
sorry,
count.
Jimmy.
The time ran out.
Okay, Jimmy, I'm sorry.
I counted 1, 2, coming down the bell rung, right?
Referee Jerry Calhoun saying the bell rung, and the match will be a draw. Jerry Calhoun says there was 2 minutes short due to a mistake made here at the table by myself and Lance. We made the mistake with the timing, so the referee says that he will add 5 minutes to this match. 5 minutes to the match.
How can you justify that?
Jim,
the bell rang, the time
the
ran out.
referee justified it.
You can't tell
The
time.
referee
That's not
just...
my fault.
Come on, Jimmy. A backdrop, and this one underway, and Beta and the Galaxians. 1, 2, they're going after the mask now, Lance. I think that a lot of people are confused, but we just made a mistake.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was 13 instead of 15. I misread it, and that's all I can say. The referee, I think, is doing a fair thing. Look out!
Here comes Cornette. Oh, no. With the shoe, Cornette catches him. Oh, my goodness, a bad break for the Rock and Roll Express. 1, 2, and 3. Once again. And that was 42 seconds after we continued the match. The Galaxians have won the match. You saw Jim Cornette come in and interfere with the chew and get the pin as the Rock and Roll Express. The situation was that the match rung, the bell rung for the 15-minute draw. The referee came down and said that it didn't seem like it was a 15 minutes to him. We looked at the watch.
It was 2 minutes off, Randy. It was 13 instead of 15.
Lance, we're having problems with audio, and both of us were really paying more attention to our technical problems.
Get that thing out of here.
As a tough break for the Rock and Roll Express as they lose it in 42 seconds after the match continues.
Hey, man, I'm sorry. I misread the watch on the thing. And
the Express very upset, and can't blame them a bit, as they wanted the mask to come off, and so did all of us here, but the Galaxians come up the winner. They get the win in the match. That's the way it happened here. We'll take time out and be back.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you people something. Hey, listen, I have the microphone on me. I can talk louder than you, so you listen to me whether you like it or not. You always see who's the Galaxian right there. That's just to tell you why. Because these two punks hurt Beta. They injured his back, and he's not able to wrestle tonight. Shut up. I wanted to call the match off, but they wouldn't let it. So it's no funeral because the situation still stands. If they lose, the hand comes off, and they are going to lose. Announce this match.
What'd he say? I can't understand it.
The official introduction, ladies and gentlemen, has been announced.
Hey, Lance, hands up.
This match will be a regular tag team match, one fall with a 60-minute time limit, one fall 60. Introducing first from the Twilight Zone, introducing Alpha of the Galaxians.
Oh, charming.
And out of Louisville, Kentucky, introducing Jim Cornette. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the great team introducing from Pensacola, Florida, Nashville, Tennessee, the Rock and Roll Express. Ladies and gentlemen, in this match, the air of Morton Gibson and safety, one fall 60.
Well, the bell indicates that we're off and running here with another of the big tag matches, and this particular one has rather monumental interest for the Rock and Roll Express, Gibson and Morton. They have put their hair up in this match. I would have to say that if they're ever going to do it, it would be in a time like this, because their opponents, Alpha of the Galaxians, is teaming with Jimmy Cornette, who, of course, is the manager of the Galaxians and the head of the dynasty of professional wrestling, as he calls it. So Cornette himself is in the corner with Alpha as his partner, and Robert Gibson, Rick Morton, on a real hot streak. Look at that one, and over goes Alpha of the Galaxians. There's a tag on Rick Morton, who takes over, drops down hard. Alpha is going to carry at least 50%, and I would have to say more like 90% of this match, because Jimmy Cornette, I think, probably thinks he's a whole lot better than he really is. A kick out at the count of 2. And we're just past a minute into the action, and Robert Gibson back in once again. Morton and Gibson, a really good-looking tag team. A couple of young fellas that have indeed spent some time in that ring, as young as they are, and they have come into their own, certainly, as they have joined forces. Rick had teamed with others, but Ken Lucas primarily, and Robert, of course, with his brother Rick Gibson. Now they're together, Rick and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express. Alpha must feel like he's been in there 30 minutes. It's only been 2. He's starting to battle his way back against Rick Morton. The Clippers are here, and the hair is at stake. Look at this. And Ricky gets out at the count of 2 with a rolling arm lock. He takes him over. Nice move by Morton. Yeah, you jump up and go tag Jimmy Cornette. That'll make the crowd very happy. Beta not in there tonight, so the Galaxians are, I would say, undermanned when you substitute Jimmy Cornette for Beta. Alpha slamming the head of Rick Morton into the top turnbuckle. Big right hand puts him down on his knees. A whip. Backdrop, and Morton almost made it in. Could have hurt his ankle when he came down. He went over a long way. What did Cornette say? I couldn't understand all that ranting up there, Randy, about Beta.
I was right beside him, Lance, and I don't know for sure what he said. He said, I believe, that Beta was injured. I believe that's what he said. And so he was scheduled in this match as a part of the handicap match. So promoter Eddie Marlin said that they had to go ahead and make it a regular 4-man tag team match.
So no handicap unless it's to the team of Alpha and Jimmy Cornette with Cornette Wrestling. And Rick and Robert Gibson, right at the moment, Rick's been having some trouble. But they certainly would have to be heavy favorites in this. Whoa, look at that. Don't put either one of the Galaxians down. They both are fast and can really go. As you saw, Rick Morton get kicked right off his feet, 1.5 count. And a suplex. And there goes Rick Morton down hard. There's a cover, 1, 2. That's about 5, as a matter of fact, that Morton has had to kick his way out of before that 3rd count. Back in the corner, a tag on Jimmy Cornette. Oh, yeah, now this is what we want to see. Referee is saying out to the Galaxian and telling Jimmy Cornette, you better get in. Morton and Gibson with their hair up, but they don't seem to be the least worried about it. And Cornette on a run. Morton has a hold of him. To the midsection. And the Dynasty head being jerked around hard by Rick Morton. 2, and he picked him up. He didn't count him out. Rick wouldn't let the 3rd count hit. He picked him up at 2, and a tag on Robert. Robert said, wait, I want some of him. And he just got a large chunk of him. 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be it. 5 minutes and 46 seconds. The Rock and Roll Express with no problem at all take the measure of Alpha and Jimmy Cornette. 5:46 your time. Rock and Roll Express, hair intact. They come out the victor.
New team in the area, the Grapplers. They have quite a reputation down around Texas way. And
I want to ask you something right now. I want to ask you an important question. I told the Mid-South promotion, I said, if I come over there, I want the toughest competition you can find and throw in that ring me right now. Well, I want you to take a look what's coming out here. You call that tough competition? I want the best they have to offer. But there's a personal reason we came here, too. And his name is Ricky Morton. He's been down here crying about the Grapplers hurt his leg and he's going to get even for it. Well, if he's going to get even for it, why didn't you do it down in Texas, boy? We had to chase you all the way to the Mid-South. Well, I'll promise you something right now, sir. He can cry about it and say all he wants to. I'm fixing to go in this ring and show you what the Grapplers are made out of. We're going to beat these boys in about 30 seconds. You just hang on to your hat. And I'm not going to leave this arena until Morton brings his jank-leg partner Gibson out here and they prove themselves right here. Here's your chance, Morton. Come on and do something about it, boy. Step in the ring with the Grapplers. Now hang on and watch this.
Well, the Grapplers headed for the ring. Their opponents, Bobby Fulton and Robert Reed. Yeah.
Once again, just like the last match we had with the Rock and Roll Express, they last 30 seconds. This one has the same look to it.
And all 4 of them in the ring, you're right. One of the Grapplers with Bobby Fulton, the other with Robert Reed. Grapplers said they're going to wrap it up quick here. They're unhappy. They're mad.
I sure don't envy the job of the referee trying to clear him out of the ring. Bobby Fulton on the outside. The Grapplers, oh, a double elbow to Robert Reed. Teamwork. Fulton knocked to the floor once again. There it is. A 1, 2, 3. There goes Robert Reed. Oh, onto the floor. Who are they yelling for?
They're yelling for Rick Morton. They are the team that hurt Rick Morton's leg and had him out of action for some time, for several weeks. And they are in here now, and they say they're after Morton again. And one of the Grapplers in the interview said they were going to beat these guys in 30 seconds and went 35.
To assist Robert Reed.
That was Ken Lake and David Johnson.
Look out.
Grabbed them.
Throwing them right into the ring.
The referee, Jerry Calhoun. Is this another match? Oh, neck breaker. One of the grapplers, the David Johnson. The action is fast and furious. Bobby Fulton and Robert Reed now leaving the area. To the second rope, one of the grapplers across the knee. Oh! It's a knee across the throat. The grapplers proceeding to beat another team.
Well, that would win 20
there you go, out of the ring again. Well, that's 4 wrestlers.
That's right. That's 2 matches they've won here, if you want to look at it that way. The grapplers are still yelling for the Rock and Roll Express, especially Rick Morton. Rick Morton and Robert Gibson, they want to say, here they come.
Look out. Here it is. Oh, look at the Express explode on the grapplers. A series of right hands. They got the grapplers down. They got them reeling. Look at them go. Oh, reverses into the ropes. Ricky Morton. Oh, up and over. Backdrop. What's he doing to his boat? One of the grapplers tapping the boat. Oh, a kick. Morton down. Robert Gibson slugging it out in the corner. One of the grapplers got Morton by the hair. A big right hand. Gibson in the corner again. Grappler number 2 turning the tide there. Oh my God, we got 3 matches. We had 3 tag teams. Look, oh, Ricky Morton in trouble. Robert Gibson in trouble. Outside the ring. There they go again. On the outside.
They got Ricky's head cut open, Steve.
It is. We can see it. Oh, Morton fires back. The grappler into the ring post. Outside. There goes Gibson. Another one of the grapplers on the outside of the ring. Look out on the floor. Where's the promoter? The referee can't break it up. Toe to toe. Look at this action. Robert Gibson, they've already wrestled one time. Look at a series of rights. Look at them, they're rocking and rolling in the ring. Hard to say who's taking the beating in this one. Ricky Morton definitely has. They're going for the mask. Morton going for the mask. Gibson's getting the better now. Grappler number 2, the mask. Well, it looks like it's coming off. He's trying to get it off. Morton still bleeding. The promoter, Eddie Marlin's out here trying to get the mask off. David Johnson still sitting by the ringside. The grappler still, oh, a hasty retreat. Ricky Morton all the way back. Robert Gibson.
Look out.
Look out, look out.
Still out here on the floor battling.
The promoter's out here. The referee's out here. The wrestlers have come out. The Ricky Morton into the post. Here they come again. Here they come again. Look out for the chair.
Steve, we're going to have to take a break. We'll be back in a moment.
You get yours started. I'll do the fall, the rest period. Woogie in a blaze of glory. The action is going, and boy, the Rock and Roll Express and grapplers came to do it. I can tell you that for a fact. Texas death match, and there is the first fall already. 30-second rest period. Remind them. 30-second rest period. First fall is history, and the action underway now in the second fall. The grappler number 2, with the bell sounding, has a 10 count in order to answer it, and he takes another shot.
Robert Gibson, Rick Morton against the Grapplers in a Texas death match. Big drop kick, and Ricky got him down, and loving it. You can bet on that. Morton going back after him, but the falls don't mean a thing. Remember that. They do not mean anything. It is the one team where both men are ready to answer the bell after a 30-second rest period. Big drop kick. Could be another pin if Ricky wants it. 1, 2, 3, fall number 2. That's 2 falls to zip, just as a matter of scorekeeping for the Rock and Roll Express. Now it's a 10 count as the 30-second rest period is over. 2 falls very quickly by the Rock and Roll Express, and sometimes that is not the best strategy. I'm not saying it isn't here, but a lot of times you will see a team. Good teamwork there is from outside the ring. Grappler number 1 grabbed the waist of grappler number 2, held him up when Rick went up in the air for the drop kick. There wasn't anybody to kick. Morton is down hard. We were saying some teams take the opportunity to not even try for a fall. They just inflict punishment, hoping that the man is not going to be able to answer the fall after the rest period. Robert Gibson cheering his partner on, and Morton slammed down again. Grappler number 1. Oh, and Morton really took an atomic knee that time. Crunched his spine when he slammed him down on it. Let's see what kind of strategy the Grapplers use. They haven't tried for a pin as yet. The knee and Morton staggering along the ropes. Down goes Ricky. And still, the Grapplers have not tried to go for a pin. Remembering that falls don't count. Here he goes. 2, and Rick kicks out. We're in the 3rd fall of action. Texas death match. Big elbow, and Morton really getting slammed around that ring now. Grappler number 1 in, and he is really slamming the boot to Rick Morton. Robert Gibson coming around to try to help his partner out in the event he needs it. And a grappler. Morton slammed down on that concrete floor as the grappler really got on him. Robert Gibson over to protect his partner. Rock and Roll Express in the 3rd fall of action. There are 2 falls up, but again, that is only academic and something to talk about. It doesn't have anything to do with the outcome of it. Morton slammed in and really caught hard with that forearm coming off the rope. In the air over the shoulder. The other one on the top rope slams Morton down. Anything goes in a Texas death. They think they've got Morton. They got him right there. 3rd fall goes to the Grapplers. They really unleashed one on Rick Morton.
15 seconds to go. 30-second total rest period. We're 5 seconds away from Morton having to get up in the air and get back on his feet. There it is. He's got to make it. The other grappler, while the referee's back was turned, jumped in there and kicked him right in the head. I don't know whether Morton's going to be able to get it or not. Robert trying to get him up, give him a little encouragement. Look at young Rick. He's really moving. Got himself up on his feet, slammed, and look at him come back, but he's down again. But not out of it. He just grabbed him, waist-locked him, slammed him down, and Morton fighting for his very life right here as the grapplers poured it to him. Woo, they really fired on that ear. Banged him hard. Morton. Grapplers over the top rope, and there's no disqualification in a Texas Tornado death match. That's why they didn't get him coming off the top rope. Anything goes. The only thing that stops it is when one man cannot continue, and on the concrete, a big body slam on Rick Morton. He scooped him, took him high in the air, and bounced him off the concrete. Morton will be hurting a long time after that one. Robert Gibson trying to help him up. And the referee says, get away, you can't help him. And once again, grappler number 2 jumps down and laces him one while he's on the concrete and the referee's back was turned. Even if he's counted outside the ring, and it may not be bad strategy, he still has a 10 count after the rest period is over to get back in the ring. Over the top, big suplex. He really brought him in. That's going to be it. Count of 3. So the grapplers even it up in terms of falls. Rick now in the middle of a second rest period as the referee grabs a leg and says, get back. Paul Morton doing the best he can do with all this wild action of a Texas death match. 10 seconds to go, and Morton's got to answer a bell. He's been bounced twice, 3 times during this rest period. 2 seconds, 1, bang, and that's it. He's got to get up. Robert Gibson saying, come on, Ricky, get it up, get it up. And a count tolling away. He's on his feet, but leaning on the rope. And a grappler goes after him. Morton, good move. Side suplex. When Rick brought him down, he hit his own head. He was off balance, staggered as he was. Rick trying to get that boot off. That's the one that the grappler has been accused of loading, and we have seen him on too many occasions. Uh-oh, big brawl starting. We're in the middle of the 5th fall. Morton's head slammed against the chair. Ricky down, and here's another cover. I'm a little bit surprised. And finally a 3 count as the 5th fall goes to the grapplers. Ricky slammed into the chair. Really infuriated the grappler when he went after that boot, but Rick was just trying to prove something he's been saying all along, that so-called orthopedic boot is a lot of garbage. It's an offensive weapon for the grapplers. 5 seconds to go. Bell, and there it is. The rest period is over. Morton has got a 10 count again. Boy,
boy, could he use a tag on Robert Gibson. Rick's head slammed into the top turnbuckle. We're in fall number 6. Rick hammering away, but he stopped short, but he whips on a reversal, and both the grappler and Morton down, and a count will go. We may get a bell here, as neither one of them can get up. The grappler comes in, Roberts in, and now he goes after Morton. Slammed him. Robert had a chain. Yep, I got to tell you, he had a chain. Put him down, and there's a count. Unless my eyes deceive me, Robert did in fact have a chain. I don't blame him. Ricky is still down. The grappler down. If the bell rings, it'll be the first one up, I believe. If it's past the 10 count. And the count is now at 3. Ricky's starting to stir. The grappler moving. Rick as close as he's been to the corner and tag Robert, but he doesn't know where he is. He's lost his location. The grappler falls back down. Ricky is up, and he gets it. He's the winner. That is going to be in fall number 7, the Rock and Roll Express. 7th fall, the beginning of the 7th fall, and the Rock and Roll Express win it.
The Windy City has 1 fall, 60-minute time limit. Paul Morton, the referee.
Signals crossed there somewhere. The music? Yeah. Well, looks like it's a sleeper on the phone up here. AWA Southern Tag Team titles on the line here, as Rick Morton and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express, trying to take them away from the Bruise Brothers. Dream Machine in there now for the Bruise Brothers. He hits the mat. Rick Morton off the ropes. Dream Machine grabs the arm, takes him down to the mat. Pork Chop Cash, the other Bruise brother, over in the corner. And down on the floor in their corner, manager Jimmy Hart, president of the First Family. Dream Machine, Rick Morton, kind of stalking each other. Rick Morton with Dream Machine back on the ropes. A whip across the way. Oh, Dream Machine hangs onto the ropes. And Rick Morton misses the drop kick. Dave Brown here at ringside with Randy Hales. Lance Russell taking the day off. He'll be back with us next week. Robert Gibson in for the Rock and Roll Express. Dream Machine still there for the Bruise Brothers. Gibson, Morton, quite a team since they formed the Rock and Roll Express just a few months ago. Robert Gibson using the ropes. Oh, Dream Machine sets up. And Robert Gibson missed. He goes down to the mat. Dream Machine has made the tag. Pork Chop Cash misses. Robert Gibson back to the corner. The tag on Rick Morton. Rick Morton takes over against Pork Chop Cash. The cover by Rick Morton. Only a count of 1. Can't hold him. Jimmy Hart has said Rock and Roll Express not ready for a title match. He said they're just a couple of kids. I think the Bruise Brothers finding out they got them some competition here as the Bruise Brothers try to hang on to the AWA Southern Tag Team belts. Pork Chop Cash off the ropes, but off the ropes with the upper arm. He drops, but Rick Morton is gone. And Pork Chop Cash hits the mat. Three minutes, 15 seconds into the action. Oh, Robert Gibson, after the tag, just kind of flips over the ropes and onto the leg of Pork Chop Cash. Now he makes another tag. Rick Morton back in. Now the Bruise Brothers. Whoa. Robert Gibson, after a tag, drops on the leg of Pork Chop Cash once again. Cash was looking to the corner for aid from the Dream Machine. Dream Machine started in there, but it ended up costing as it gave Robert an opportunity to come over that top rope. Rock and Roll Express working on the left leg. A Pork Chop Cash of the Bruise Brothers. Morton and Gibson in a battle for the belts. Pork Chop Cash on his feet. Rick Morton almost got him off his feet, but not quite. Pork Chop Cash puts him into the ropes. Rick Morton puts him down. Referee involved with the other Bruise brother over in the corner did not see the shoulders down till it was too late. Rick Morton has the shoulders of the Dream Machine down this time. Only a count of 1. That's all he could get. Rick Morton goes to work on the left arm. Puts a twist on it, then bars the left arm of the Dream Machine. Morton stepped over, but he gets clotheslined by the Dream Machine. Bruise Brothers make a tag. Pork Chop Cash back in for the Bruise Brothers. Dropped on the top rope. Rick Morton in trouble. Pork Chop Cash calling for the Dream Machine's boot. Ooh. Rick Morton. Backdrop. Dream Machine whips him into the ropes. Clotheslines him coming off of there again. Rick Morton really in trouble. Here comes Pork Chop Cash back in. Bruise Brothers pretty much in control of the action the last couple of minutes. And we are 7 minutes into this one. Both wrestlers down, Rick Morton and Pork Chop Cash. Dream Machine fires Morton into the ropes. Morton with a boot. Drops down but misses his Dream Machine. Had already moved before Rick Morton could get to him with the elbow and the upper arm. Morton holding his arm. Dream Machine off the ropes, and Rick Morton moves. Dream Machine bounces off the canvas. Now he bounces off the canvas again as Rick Morton dumped him over the back. Rick Morton trying to get set but couldn't do it in time. Dream Machine hit him. Both of them went to the mat, but the Dream Machine able to get the tag on Pork Chop Cash. 8 minutes gone in this one. AWA Southern Tag titles at stake. Pork Chop Cash had the cover. Robert Gibson able to break it up, assisting his partner Rick Morton. Right fist to the throat. Rick Morton returns the fist. Now the Bruise Brothers double team it in the corner again as the tag is made and the Dream Machine is back in. Reversal by Rick Morton, but the Dream Machine set. He used the knee. Rick Morton on the mat. Bruise Brothers make the tag. Pork Chop Cash hit Rick Morton right in the side of the head with his knee. Rick Morton gets the tag. Robert Gibson going to work on both the Bruise Brothers. He runs them together in the corner. Rick Morton body slam by Pork Chop Cash while Robert Gibson's working on the Dream Machine. Pork Chop up on the top rope. He dropped. He tried to get to Rick Morton. Could do it. 1, 2, 3. Brand new Southern Tag Team Champions. The Rock and Roll Express, Rick Morton, Robert Gibson. They've got the belts. New champions here as the Rock and Roll Express defeats the Bruise Brothers. 9 minutes, 43 seconds the time. We'll be back. Brothers and Jimmy Hart have jumped referee Paul Morton. The match over. The Rock and Roll Express have won the Southern Tag titles, and now the Bruise Brothers and Jimmy Hart really working on referee Paul Morton after the match is over. Pork Chop Cash up on the rope. Here comes the Rock and Roll Express in. They've got him. Now, the Bruise Brothers and Hart get out. Referee Paul Morton left lying in the ring here. Rick Morton back in. Here's Robert Gibson.
We're sitting here in the hospital room with referee Paul Morton, in which a lot of people don't know, but a lot of the fans do know that Paul Morton, he's my father. And over the past couple of years, as long as I've been wrestling, you know, he's never, when I was in the ring, he never gave me nothing, brother. Everything that I got in that ring for, I had to work for, that was for anybody. He never gave us nothing, brother, but we won the titles. And after winning the titles, we were so excited, but we went running back to the dressing room, hollering at the fans, man, because, you know, it just gave us a thrill that we've been working for so long and so hard. Then after getting to the back, the people were hollering, and some of them hollering that they jumped you dead out in the ring, and man, you know, it was just something that come over me. I couldn't believe it, so I went running back out, went to the ring, and I seen it. It wasn't just the Bruise Brothers and Jimmy Hart that makes me want to get back at them. It's not even the titles. You could throw the titles out the window, brother, because that don't matter to us anymore. What matters to us is Troy Graham and you, Pork Chop Cash. It's what you done. What you done, you cracked my father 3 of his ribs, man. What do you want? I mean, what are you guys after? You crazy or something, brother? But I'm gonna show you. You're gonna see the new Rock and Roll Express, baby. Because we come out there, man, and we try to get along. We try to do everything. We try to go by the book. But you can throw the book out the window, baby. Because the Rock and Roll Express is coming back. And we're not going down, baby, because we got a lot on our mind. And I know the only way to get through the Masters is go through the dogs, brother. And we don't care. Bring them all one by one. But we're going to get you. Sooner or later, brother, we're going to get you. The Rock and Roll Express is going to be around for a long time. And so is my dad, baby, because he's got more guts and more pride in his little finger than you got in your whole body, Jack. And when we come back, when you meet us again, you're going to realize who is the best. And I'm talking about the Rock and Roll Express, baby.
Wild and woolly beginning as Rick Morton and Robert Gibson come out blazing with both guns loaded against the First Family's Bruise Brothers. Man, they hit the ring, and the next thing they hit were the Bruise Brothers. Dream Machine going after Rick. Robert helping his partner out is Jimmy Cornette, hollering and screaming at the Bruise Brothers. I think most of the fans know behind this particular match the fact that the Bruise Brothers jumped referee Paul Morton, who is Ricky's father, put him in the hospital, and seemed to take great pride in it. Hart and the Bruise Brothers felt like it was their prerogative to do it because they thought the referee cheated them. Well, obviously, they sustained a fine and were suspended. The Bruise Brothers were. And the Rock and Roll Express begged Eddie Marlin, please, to let them have it. Keep the fine on them, but, brother, let them get back into the ring with it. Referee Jerry Calhoun in there as the Dream Machine's head has been split open. We're in the early part of a one-fall 60-minute time limit bout. As a matter of fact, a minute and a half in, and already the Rock and Roll Express have the Dream Machine busted open, bleeding. Jim Cornette, manager, in the corner with the Bruise Brothers, wearing out a pair of shoes. Woo. Boy, they got the dream really busted open. Robert Gibson takes over, and he rattles the dream machine. No question he's using fists, and he isn't even trying to pretend that he isn't using fists. He just wants some of them. Same way with Rick, whose dad's still in a hospital. Rick Morton takes a tag from Robert, and the dream really being kicked around by the Rock and Roll Express. They've got him well away from the corner where Pork Chop Cash. 3 minutes in, and the Rock and Roll Express have not let up till yet. Southern Tag Team belts are at stake. Rick and Roberts are showing no indications that they're going to let up at all as they continue to work on the dream machine. Tell the match in the ring, the Bruise Brothers. Here's Eddie Marlin and the Rock and Roll Express. The Dream bleeding profusely. Rick Morton going after him with a small package, but the referee's trying to find out about getting the stuff outside the ring cleared up. Count of one. That's all they got. Oh, boy, the Dream Machine really a mess where the Rock and Roll Express worked him over. Robert Gibson now getting back up. Once again, 1, 2. Count of 2 with Rick. Pork Chop Cash had that chain on his hand. Nailed Robert Gibson. Eddie Marlin and company, Coco and Dutch and everybody else trying their best to get the Fabs out of there, and they did. Cornette, I think, is still down on the floor. Meanwhile, Pork Chop Cash working on Rick Morton, going after those Southern belts that they lost in a previous match. Pork Chop slams Morton on the back of the neck. Well, they got the Fabs out of there. Cornette is still down on the concrete. A count, but not enough, and Pork Chop drops with another elbow. And again, Dream Machine, who's really hurting. Here comes Jimmy Hart. They're down to try to get Jimmy Cornette out of there. He was, I got to tell you, the Fabulous Ones were not trying to interfere with the match, even with Cornette, who cost them an earlier match. They're carrying Cornette out of there, so the Bruise Brothers will carry on without a manager. Rick Morton slammed by Pork Chop again. Good night. Woo! Robert way up in the air to make a tag, but he's not on the apron. It wouldn't do any good. Count of 1, and Rick kicks out of it. The distraction at ringside, I believe, while it certainly was not intentional by the Fabulous Ones, turned the tide as it gave Pork Chop Cash a chance to pull a chain out when the referee was trying to get the mess at ringside straightened up. Pork Chop started using that chain. And since that time, the Bruce brothers have had things going their way. Dream Machine still with blood all over him. Tags back out to Pork Chop. He was a little unsteady on his feet. And he made a tag back to Pork Chop. Chops with that big elbow puts Rick down on the mat. Coming up on the 9-minute mark. Oh, and Pork Chop dropping Ricky down as he pulled a slick maneuver to get out of the way, and he just dropped Rick straight down on that top rope. Morton in the center of the ring. I was going to say he will never make it to the corner. Ooh. Rick really being worked over by Pork Chop Cash. Morton slammed into the foot of the Dream Machine. And Dream is looking for anybody to get some revenge for what happened to him early in the bout. He is still a mess. Still not too steady on his feet as he staggers around the ring. But he is going after Rick Morton. There's a tag on Pork Chop. And Pork Chop blazing away on Rick Morton at the 10-minute mark. Dream snaps ahead of Rick Morton down over that top rope, and Pork Chop follows it up. There's a kick out at the 2 count. Ricky saved it. Robert trying to root his partner in there to get over to the corner and tag out. But Rick unable to make it. Pork Chop drops down hard on him again. Rick snaps back with a hard right hand. Dream Machine comes in. Here comes Robert Gibson in. Puts the chops down, but Ricky still couldn't get to the corner to tag Robert. Dream kicking away at Morton, and he's run back to the corner by the referee. Rick trying to dive in there and tag Robert, but Chops catches him right in midair. Southern Tag Team belts on the line. And they're a little wobbly as Rick Morton has taken quite a pounding. Pork Chop makes the tag on the Dream, and Ricky does not on Robert. Still too far away. Backdrop. Tag again on Pork Chop. And the Dream, who took an early beating from both of the Rock and Roll Express. Wow! Chops comes sailing off that second rope. And just barely got the right shoulder up, did Rick Morton. Robert was down in tagging range, but he wasn't in the corner. Rick trying to drive backward over to the corner where he can tag Robert. Chop stops him again. Gibson put down on the floor and comes rolling back up to give the referee some trouble. And while that was happening, the Dream Machine drops down hard on Rick Morton. Coming up on the 14-minute mark in this Southern tag bout. Dream Machine takes over from Pork Chop Cash. And Ricky putting the Dream Machine down, tried to follow it with an elbow, and he missed. The Dream just missed. And Chops comes back in to get Rick Morton. Here comes Jimmy Hart back out at the ringside. He had come out early with some of the First family to get Cornette out. There's a 15-minute mark with 45 to go. Southern tag title. Hart pitches a chain in. Dream Machine nails Rick Morton, and we may have new champions. We do. There's the 3 count, and Rick Morton succumbs to the 3 count after being nailed with a chain thrown in by Jimmy Hart. The winners and the new Southern Tag Champions regaining the title.
Spectacular entrance of Leaping Lanny. The Poffo family, symbolic of a whole family of tough athletes. Let me tell you something for a flat-out fact. These people, look at Lanny. And a fine move there. Savage comes back in. Watch out for the rock and roll. We're enjoying it. Yes, sir. Savage, after one of the crowds, the referee starts the count. Here comes Lanny back into the ring. And Angelo trying to quiet the crowd down. They're 100% behind Rick and Robert. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Angelo Poffo complaining about something. What? I don't know. Look at this. Look at this. Going to work on the knee or the leg of Lanny. Tag out. Robert comes across the leg from the top rope. Use the rope as leverage, and look at those moves. They go after Andy. Next scene, both of them. Angelo better watch out or he'll be put down. Randy Savage leaps into the ring. Robert Gibson. Angelo comes around, going to distract Rick Morton. Morton to go after him, I am certain. Yes, sir. Sends him down. Angelo Poffo does his job, distract anybody around. at Lanny go after Robert, but Robert gets out of the way. Here comes Morton. Ricky goes after Randy Savage, puts Leaping Lanny down. Savage is reversed out of the ring. Look out. Angelo sends him in and kicking him at the 6.5-minute mark. The Savage and Poffos getting vicious. They are getting vicious. Big right hand to Morton. Fires him back in the ring. Into the turnbuckles. Morton hits hard. A boot to the top of the head. Drops down on the back of Morton. Rick taking a tremendous amount of punishment. Elbow. Savage snaps him down. And Morton moves. Rick is badly cut. A tremendous cut on the head of Rick Morton. But Rick, we remember, a tremendous amount of fight. But he's caught by Savage in the corner. Rick with the right hand. But Leaping Lanny with the boot to the midsection. To the turnbuckle and a tag on Savage. Lanny holding the tights as Randy Savage hurls him out. This is this move by Savage. Oh my goodness. Morton picked up, back in the ring, trying to get the tag. Missed it, and a tag on Savage's brother, Lanny Poffo. Here comes Angelo.
Going to lead to a beautiful victory. It's started.
Angelo Poffo with his brand of commentating. Lanny. Rick Morton moves. Good move on Rick Morton. He made the tag. Yes, sir. Goes after Lanny. Puts down Savage. Right hand to the head. Puts Savage down. Fires him in. Ducks him over. Disqualification. Disqualification, 9 minutes of time as the win goes to the Rock and Roll. A disqualification. Look out, Savage is caught as they tried to power drive Robert Gibson on the concrete floor. Now the ball's right out as we back up right on the table. Savage has it on the table. What is he doing? He's trying to power drive him on the table. He's trying to power drive him on our announcer's desk. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, he broke the table. Rick Morton, as we need some help. Savage, come on, Randy. Randy, this is ridiculous. Right on the, ring the bell. Let's get this stopped here. I've never seen anything like that. They pile drive Morton on the table, broke the table, now trying to do it again. They run their heads. Get them out of here, Robert. Oh my goodness. Worried about Rick Morton. Morton pile drive on the table.
I take it for granted, maybe I shouldn't, that all wrestling fans know that Randy Savage and Lanny Poffo are brothers. Bam! Good right hand, Rick Morton. Ducked under that elbow and fired it right when he turned around. Referee Jerry Calhoun saying, let's keep the fist open. Doubt if there's any hope of that. Too many bad feelings between these two teams. Randy Savage slamming Rick Morton down. And as Savage comes off the turnbuckle, Morton catches him. Sunset flip. Roberts got him, but only for a 1 count. And there's a tag on Lanny Poffo. Lanny misses the right hand. Robert ducks under and out. As Rick Morton was shaking the ropes to get Randy Savage off of him. He is all over the place. Entirely different personalities, Savage and his brother, Sir Lanny Poffo. Lanny will wax eloquent. Randy Savage will do some of the most bizarre things you've ever seen. Rick and Robert showing no fear of this high-powered team of Poffo Mania. Look at here! Beautiful drop kick. Lanny Poffo hanging up. Tied up. Whoa, Rick almost got out from under that side headlock before Lanny had it clamped good. Front face lock, tag on Savage. And that's Savage, a whirlwind. Fires Ricky out. Now look out. Now look out. Down with both hands right on top of him. Yeah, he'll be back. Robert Gibson comes over.
Executed move.
Yeah, Angelo. It was beautifully executed. Rick Morton still down on his knees, and Lanny pops him with a foot. Robert Gibson, but from behind, Randy Savage being chased by Robert. Let me tell you, Robert and Rick, they can throw that caution and rules to the wind. They'll go after you in a second, give them half a chance. Rick is hurt. Back in the ring again. Savage tosses him over the top rope while the referee was sending Angelo Poffo back to the corner. Angelo grabs him, slams his head down on the ring apron. Now they're having a field day, taking pot shots while the referee's getting Robert Gibson out of there. Now the referee's over. Robert and Lanny Poffo going at it. Rick rolls back in the ring to get away from Angelo and Randy Savage. Ooh, double hand from Savage down on Rick. There's that front flip, and Lanny got a 2 count. Nine minutes, 5 seconds into a 45-minute time limit match. Chokehold from Lanny. He has Rick's arm in a hammer. Oh, and as Rick leaped over him, Savage caught him with a big elbow. Rick Morton down. Savage taking advantage of it. Slams him with that right hand as the referee was warning. Didn't do any good. Tags Lanny Poffo, grabs a leg to keep Rick from getting to Robert. Ooh, and as Robert was leaning in, Lanny across that ring in a second. Nailed him with a foot to the midsection. Robert coming in after him, caught by the referee. And Lanny Poffo pounds with an elbow on Rick. Tag. goes Morton out on the floor.
Another hassle out here. One got stabbed in the throat.
So Rick Morton caught in the Poffo corner. And he is having his clock wound by all three of them. Going for a pile driver, which will be a disqualification, but Rick doesn't want to see any more of that. Over the top rope, down on the back. Lanny ripping with a right. Rick trying to come back. Nails Lanny. And just before Morton got a good spring to get Robert's hand, he just barely grabbed a leg to keep him from getting over there. Savage around behind, grabs Robert Gibson, blasts him one. That's to keep the tag from being executed. Robert going after him. .5 minutes, and Rick Morton out on the floor again. Here comes Angelo. Ricky dumped over the table. Savage going after him. Lifts him up, but Rick, whoa, backflipped him over on the table. Savage slammed down as Rick Morton backflipped him out of the pile driver. He was the one that was doing the pile driving in there. Randy Savage fired into it. Lanny Poffo. Oh, looks like we're getting all four of them involved here. Out on the floor goes Savage. Robert with a pin on Lanny, but the referee is out here with Rick and Savage. Angelo Poffo gets in there. .13 minutes, 6 seconds. It's going to be a disqualification, and look at Rick Morton go on Angelo. Now the whole Poffo family was jumping on Rick, but Angelo comes out of there where Rick had been beating on him with a boot. Disqualification in 13:06. The winners will be... Oh yeah, bell time, and that means action time. A couple of very fast teams in this tag action match. The Unmasked Nightmares, Ken Wayne starting out with Danny Davis as partner, going against the Double R's, the Rock and Roll Express, Rick Morton and Robert Gibson. Jerry Calhoun, the referee. Mid-South Coliseum, Memphis, Tennessee. Lance Russell and Randy Hales right at ringside. And this ought to be a dandy. Two very fast teams. Rick and Robert have got the size advantage. Whoa! Wayne spearing with that right hand. He was going to take Rick out of action right away. But Morton, too quick, went down underneath him, and Ken Wayne was swinging at nothing but air. We're in the opening minute of a one-fall 15-minute time limit bout. There's a tag on Robert. Rick whips Wayne in. Aha! And he catches Robert with that foot. Robert was going over for a backdrop after Rick had popped him in on that whip. And here Here's a little help from Rick on his partner, Robert. Ken Wayne. He was signaling to Danny, but they couldn't pull it off the way the Rock and Roll Express did. And the Nightmares. Whoa! And Robert, a big long drop kick. Look at this. Robert right in behind with a second monkey flip. And the Rock and Roll Express really going to town on the Nightmares. Jimmy Hart pulling his hair at ringside. Davis out on the floor. Ken Wayne out on the floor. Referee giving a little sermon to Rick and Robert about their double teaming. I figured the only thing they did was beat the Nightmares to the double teaming, Randy.
That's true. Don't you love this? Quickest team in professional wrestling, don't you think? Two quick teams. I love it.
Yeah, this is excellent action. No question about that. And the audience really getting into the action we've had as Danny Davis trying to slow that momentum down. Takes a little time getting back in the ring. Facing off with Rick Morton. Slams him with a right hand. A second and a third one. And the referee on him all the time. Whips Morton across. Look at this. Oh, beauty. What a quick move. Nice. Ken Wayne treated to the same kind of action. Oh, boy, look at here. Man, oh, man, the Rock and Roll Express, as if to punctuate what Randy had just said about being the quickest team in wrestling, they added some very classy action to it. Wayne and Davis having a powwow with Hart at ringside. A little better than 3.5 minutes in. I think the crowd has got to say, yeah, boy, our favorites are the Rock and Roll Express. And they have really looked good against the Nightmares. Don't count Wayne and Davis out, though. They've got 5 years tag experience together. And to the corner, Robert now goes with a press on Ken Wayne, who kicks him loose, and out on the floor goes Robert. Danny Davis picking Robert up, slams him down. Rick Morton run out of there by the referee. Pretty classy move by Wayne over in the corner to get away from Robert. Well, we've got them all four in there for a brief moment. Davis working on the leg of Robert Gibson. Tag. Here comes Ken Wayne. And the Nightmares right at that knee joint, slamming down hard on Robert Gibson. Right on it.
5 minutes past, 10 minutes remaining, 5 minutes.
And as he was going to the corner to tag Rick, Davis interrupted him, pulled him off the tag, and has him back with that knee in trouble. He bars that leg right at the knee where he can lean back, push in with his right hand, and he's kicked out of it. Davis catches him. Good move. Turns him into a Boston Crab. He doesn't have it set yet, but Ken Wayne's helping him out. Robert, who has got a lot of leverage with that height of his. Tag goes to Wayne, drops with an elbow, and Davis cuts loose of that Boston Crab. Into the ropes, whip. Around behind. He didn't get him in the classic clothesline. He clotheslined him, hooked his other hand in a loop, and power slammed his head into the mat. chop coming down as Davis double-handed Robert Gibson. Gibson whipped across the ring. Sunset flip. Look at Davis, but the referee getting Wayne out. Doesn't have him out for long. Six and a half minutes in. We're approaching the halfway mark time-wise in this match. Ken Wayne still shaking his head where he head-butted Gibson right in the face. Scoops him up, slams him down. Wayne getting a little speed up, drives down with that head, and Robert rolling toward the corner. Oh, boy. He didn't know how close he was to Rick Morton. A couple of more rolls, and he'd have been right in the corner for a tag. Davis takes over. And Robert trying to fight his way back. Smacks Davis with a good solid right hand. Oh, and as he comes in with a double chop, he raised the knee, but Ken Wayne caught him from behind, and there's a tag out to Ken Wayne. Both teams seem to be primed for this bout today, Randy.
That's right. They met before, Lance. Robert comes up. He makes the tag. That's what he needed.
Rick Morton coming in with the nightmares. He's fresh. Ricky, a good drop kick. Right over on Wayne, and Robert up off the floor, swinging away. Kane, from Hart, nails Rick Morton right in the back of the head. Nightmares. Davis, backbreaker. He's got Morton. Ken Wayne going to come off, and he misses him. Morton covers. The referee, 1, 2, 3, tag. That's it. 8 minutes, 19 seconds. Very classy finish with Rick Morton getting out of the way as Ken Wayne was going to put him away. Rolling right into a pin position. The referee counted